name is Maieka, and welcome to another episode of Kids in the Kitchen.
Hi, I'm Amani.
And I'm Sheila. Today we're focusing on holiday desserts. You know, the holidays are coming up, and one of my favorite parts of the meal is dessert time. So we thought today at Kids in the Kitchen we'd show you some of our favorite holiday recipes. Maieka and Amani have already started chopping up our white chocolate for our wonderful bark that Maieka will tell you a little bit about. Later on in the show, we'll be making sweet potato pie, one of the family favorites, and a luxurious red velvet cake. So you guys are already chopping up this chocolate. What are we getting into today with the bark?
Okay, I'm going to help Amani out a little bit. Bark is one of my favorite holiday desserts, and what it is, what it will be today is a peppermint bark. Peppermint candy canes. They're part of your normal holiday season candy, and so we're making something really simple. We're going to melt our white chocolate. We're using a good quality white chocolate that we've kind of cut up to speed up the melting process. Then we'll add some peppermint flavor or peppermint extract, whatever you have, and we'll top it off with some Starlight or whatever kind of mints you have, candy canes, anything like that, to make it look pretty and add some peppermint flavor. And you can get bark often at many different stores during the holiday season. Sometimes it has chocolate, sometimes not, but it's often a white chocolate. So we're keeping it very simple today. And this type of candy can take you about 4 minutes to make. We'll be able to make the whole thing today, put it in the refrigerator, and you'll see how pretty it looks. Ready? Okay, so now that we have all of our white chocolate cut up, what we're going to do is move on over to the stove. Good. And we're going to go ahead and start. So we have a double boiler kind of set up. If you don't have a double boiler, all you need is some boiling water, which you'll turn down to about a simmer. Oh, not off, but to a little simmer. Put a double boiler or a metal bowl on top, then your chocolate in. And this chocolate is going to melt fairly quickly. So what we'll do is just kind of continue to move the chocolate around with the spatula. While you're doing that, Sheila's going to strain the Starlight mint. So what we did prior to the show is we spent some time crushing the mints, and it was very loud. We decided not to show you the crushed mints, but you know what a whole mint looks like. You can imagine what it looks like when someone's pounded on it. We used a meat tenderizer to do it, and Sheila's straining the mints. So we want to put some of the little small, almost dust-sized pieces into the candy also to help the flavoring of the chocolate. So you can see, if you take a look in real quick, you see that the chocolate is starting to melt. We're going to continue to kind of mix that around. Now, as we were saying, candy cane is a very big holiday candy, and it's been around for over 300 years. And so I thought it would be good, as we were making different desserts, to have a dessert that kind of featured the candy cane in a non-traditional manner. And I decided, instead of the candy cane, we do a Starlight mint. It's a round one. They're easier to find in the round.
Right here, I'm just straining the Starlight mints, getting just some of the dust like Maieka shared. So that would be the part that we stick into the actual white chocolate. You want to have the dust so that it doesn't have a bumpy texture. The bumpy texture should stay on the top of your bark.
Okay, so let's take a look at this chocolate now. It's really getting melted. We're almost there. So the next thing we'll do after some of these big pieces melt is we'll add some of the peppermint flavor. And here we go. Amani's going to measure out a quarter of a teaspoon of peppermint flavor. I had peppermint flavor in the house. If you have peppermint extract, you can use that too. If you like a stronger peppermint flavor, you can add a little bit more. If you like it to be a little bit mild, you don't have to add it at all. I'm going to go ahead and add that. We'll mix that up. Now, I'm not a professional candy maker. I'm not a confectioner. But if you would, you'd be concerned maybe about tempering the chocolate. We're not going to do that here. We've used a high-quality chocolate. So all we have to do is melt this down. And let's see what else. Another thing that you could do is use dark chocolate. So you can see we're almost there. Just a few more moments. Sheila, do you have those mints done yet?
They are finished.
Okay, great. Can you bring the little bits over? Okay, do you want to go ahead and add the little bits in? Now, one of the things you have to be aware of is that the mints definitely get affected by the heat in your kitchen. So it might be a little bit heat. Don't be surprised if you get a little clump in your chocolate like that. That's okay. That's the mints. Now we're going to go ahead and spread that out on our pan. You want to go ahead and do that? This way. Okay, so I've turned out the flame so that nothing catches on fire. And what I'm going to do is hand this over to Amani. And she's going to pour the chocolate in the middle of the pan. And what we're going to do is spread out the chocolate so it's about 1/4 inch thick. Okay, scoop it all out, just dump it. Doesn't have to be pretty. We're going to break the chocolate up once it's done. Okay, is that all the chocolate out? Okay, that's good. Just spread it out so it's about 1/4 inch thick. Okay, you want to keep it not so much to the sides. Try and make it in a little square if you can. Okay. Do you mind if I kind of show you a little bit? Okay. So what we want to do is you don't want it to be so thin, right? So it's 1/4 inch, kind of like that. And I'm just kind of moving it. See? Okay. The last thing we do is just sprinkle some of the mints on top. Your fingers. Just take some of the bowls. Okay, your fingers are going to get a little bit. There you go. Now, these have been sitting out and they've gotten a little bit sticky. Right, so they're a little hard. That's okay. They're sticking to our fingers. But we'll wash our hands. We're okay. We can handle that. You can spread as much as you want. And then when you're done, you just put it in the refrigerator for about maybe ½ an hour or so it gets hot. Hard. Okay. Look good? Okay, great. There we go. Sheila? You ready to just work on that sweet potato pie?
Okay, well, we're going to just get started on a little bit before we go to our break. We have already boiled our sweet potatoes, and prior to coming on air, we boiled them, and now they're nice and soft and ready to peel. So I'm going to go ahead and peel a few real quickly. Now, it's really important with sweet potatoes to boil them first before you make your pie, because the sweet potato skin is real kind of dense and it's hard to pull off. But once you boil it, it helps in lots of ways. One, it makes your potatoes easier to make into a pie texture. Secondly, it helps you peel your skin real quick. So normally when you make a sweet potato pie, what you want to do is add key ingredients, which we've already put on the table. You have about 1.5 sticks of butter, 1.5 cups of sugar, vanilla, nutmeg, 3 eggs that we beat earlier, cloves, and our secret ingredient, which is pet milk. So as we go out to the break, Amani's going to begin to start to mix all of our ingredients. Amani, you can help me put them into our bowl. Then you simply just use a hand mixer, mix it, and pour it into your pie shell. When we come back, we'll show you how it looks and how you can make your sweet potato pie at home.